Most people think intermittent fasting is just about losing weight and looking better quickly. But something far more important is happening deep inside your body during those hours. Your liver is quietly going through one of the most powerful transformations it has ever experienced. Very few people understand what actually happens to their liver when they stop eating for hours. Today, that changes completely, and what you learn here might change how you eat forever. Your liver is the largest internal organ sitting inside your body right now as you read. It weighs around 1.4 kilograms in the average adult, which is heavier than most people realize. Every single day, your liver performs over 500 different functions without you ever thinking about it. It filters your blood constantly, removing toxins and harmful substances that could damage your body badly. It produces bile, which your digestive system needs to break down the fats you eat daily. It stores energy, manufactures important proteins, and processes almost everything you eat, drink, or breathe. Without your liver functioning properly, you could not survive for more than a day or two. That is how critical this single organ is to every moment of your life right now. But here is the part that should genuinely stop you and make you think very seriously. About 1 in every 3 adults around the entire world has too much fat in their liver. That number adds up to over 2 billion living people walking around with a fatty liver today. The scariest part is that most of those people have absolutely no idea this is happening. Fatty liver in its early stages causes no obvious symptoms that would make you suspicious at all.
No pain, no visible signs, nothing unusual that would push you toward getting yourself properly checked. This condition is called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and it was barely understood for a very long time. A normal, healthy liver should contain no more than about 5% fat inside its cells. When that fat percentage climbs higher than 5, problems slowly begin developing inside your liver quietly. The liver starts struggling to perform all its hundreds of important daily functions as efficiently as before. Over time, if nothing changes in your lifestyle, simple fatty liver can get dramatically worse over time. It can progress from fat accumulation to serious inflammation, then to scarring, and eventually liver damage. Back in 1980, a pathologist named Jürgen Ludwig made a discovery that completely changed medical understanding forever. He worked at the Mayo Clinic and examined 20 patients who had severely inflamed and fatty livers. The strange and confusing thing was that none of these 20 patients were heavy drinkers at all. Their liver damage looked exactly like the damage seen in people who drank heavily for years, but alcohol simply was not the cause of what Ludwig was seeing in those biopsy results. He saw fat accumulation, clear inflammation, and even serious scarring, all happening without any alcohol involvement whatsoever. Ludwig published his findings and created the term non-alcoholic steatohepatitis for the very first time in medicine. It was the first time doctors formally recognized that you could badly damage your liver without drinking. The real cause was not alcohol at all. The real cause was metabolism and what people ate. 45 years later, we now know that lifestyle choices play a massive role in liver health overall.
Research increasingly shows that intermittent fasting can help reverse many of the changes Ludwig first described medically. Now let us follow your liver step by step through each stage of a fast, starting now. In the first 0 to 4 hours after your last meal, your liver is still processing food. When you eat carbohydrates, they break down into glucose, which enters directly into your bloodstream after eating. Your blood sugar rises after the meal, and your pancreas detects this change happening in your blood. Your pancreas then releases insulin in direct response to the glucose now circulating through your bloodstream strongly. Insulin is a storage hormone, and it sends a very clear message straight to your liver immediately. The message says, take this glucose out of the blood and safely store it away for later. Your liver follows those instructions and converts the glucose into a storage form of energy called glycogen. Think of glycogen like your liver's short-term energy reserve, similar to a battery being charged up fully. At the same time, insulin is doing something else that is critically important for you to understand. Insulin prevents fat from leaving your liver cells and your fat tissue throughout your entire body completely. As long as insulin stays circulating at high levels, fat remains completely locked inside your liver cells. You literally cannot burn fat while insulin levels are elevated in your bloodstream at any given moment. This is completely normal and expected after you eat a meal, so there is nothing to fear. The real problem comes when you eat constantly throughout the entire day without giving your body breaks. Breakfast, then a snack, then lunch, then another snack, then dinner, and then something late at night.
If you eat every few hours all day,
your insulin levels stay elevated almost the entire day. Fat keeps getting packed into your liver continuously, but it never gets any real chance to leave. This repeated cycle of constant eating and constant insulin elevation is exactly how fatty liver develops slowly. It builds up over months and years of eating too frequently without giving your liver enough recovery time. During these first few hours of fasting, you will not feel anything particularly unusual happening inside you. Your body is simply doing exactly what it was designed to do naturally right after consuming a meal. Now let us move forward to hours 4 through 8, where real changes start happening inside your body. Insulin begins to drop noticeably as the hours pass and no new food is coming into your system. At the same time, another important hormone called glucagon starts rising to take over the situation instead. Glucagon does the exact opposite of what insulin does when it is released into your bloodstream now. If insulin says store energy safely, glucagon says release that stored energy back out into the system. These two hormones work together like a perfectly balanced seesaw, always moving in opposite directions from each other. Your liver contains roughly 100 grams of glycogen, which equals around 400 calories of stored sugar. When you stop eating for several hours, your liver begins breaking down this stored glycogen very methodically. This breakdown process, called glycolynolysis, keeps your blood sugar stable even when you are not eating anything. Your liver carefully releases glucose into your bloodstream to maintain a steady energy supply to your brain.
If you are not exercising heavily, this glycogen supply can keep you going for around 8 to 12 hours. If you are physically active during your fast, those stores deplete much faster than they normally would. Exercise actually speeds up the entire fasting process that we are walking through right now together carefully. During this phase, you might start feeling mild hunger, which is your body's natural response to changes. Your blood sugar fluctuates slightly as your liver figures out exactly how much glucose to release out. Some people feel mildly irritable, slightly foggy, or have a bit of trouble concentrating during this period. These feelings are completely normal and temporary, simply signs that your body is actively recalibrating itself internally. However, if you feel severe dizziness that refuses to go away with rest and water, stop fasting. If your heart starts racing and will not slow down, that is a serious signal to stop immediately. Fasting should feel challenging at times, but it should never feel genuinely dangerous or medically alarming to you. For most healthy people, pushing through this phase is completely safe and leads to remarkable changes ahead. Between hours 8 and 12, your liver makes one of the most critical switches in all of biology. By this point, the glycogen stores in your liver are running dangerously low or completely emptied out. Your body urgently needs another fuel source to keep your brain and organs working properly without stopping. So your liver starts doing something truly remarkable that most people never learn about in their entire lives. It begins converting fatty acids into special molecules called ketones, which become your body's new fuel source.
Where do these fatty acids actually come from when your liver starts making this remarkable metabolic switch happen? They come from fat cells spread throughout your entire body, including fat stored right inside your liver. When insulin drops low enough, fat cells finally receive the clear signal to release their stored contents. Fatty acids flow freely through your bloodstream and travel to your liver, which transforms them into ketones. Ketones are an alternative fuel source that your brain, your heart, and your muscles can all use. Many researchers now believe ketones are actually a cleaner and more efficient fuel than glucose for certain organs. This is the metabolic switch that researchers and scientists talk about when they discuss the benefits of fasting. You have shifted from burning sugar as your primary fuel to burning stored fat as your new fuel. Your body has moved from depending on external food fuel to using its own internal stored fat reserves. This critical transition is the key reason why intermittent fasting is so powerful, specifically for improving liver health. Something else very interesting also happens during this phase that most people never hear about or discuss. Growth hormone levels begin rising significantly as your body enters this deeper phase of the fasting process. Some studies show that growth hormone can increase up to 5 times its normal level during a fast. Growth hormone is protective and intelligent. It helps preserve your muscle tissue while promoting simultaneous fat breakdown. This is the precise reason why short-term fasting does not cause the muscle loss so many people fear. Your body is smart and strategic enough to burn fat for fuel while keeping your muscle tissue protected.
During this phase, many people report something very surprising that completely contradicts what they expected to feel. Their hunger actually decreases and becomes noticeably quieter after hitting that 10 to 12-hour fasting mark. This feels completely counterintuitive because logically you would expect to feel much hungrier the longer you go. But once your body successfully switches to burning fat and producing ketones, intense hunger signals quiet down considerably. You may still think about food occasionally, but the desperate, urgent feeling of needing food right now fades. You might also notice that your breath smells slightly different, perhaps fruity or with a faint metallic quality. That unusual smell happens because ketones are partially released through your lungs each time you breathe out slowly. It is actually a positive sign, showing that your metabolism has successfully made the important switch to fat burning. Many people also report feeling surprisingly alert and mentally focused during this phase of their fast, surprisingly often. Ketones deliver steady and consistent energy to your brain, without the peaks and crashes from blood sugar swings. Your mental clarity during this phase can actually improve compared to how you feel after eating a large meal. Now we enter hours 12 through 18, where something called autophagy becomes extremely significant for your liver health. The word autophagy comes directly from ancient Greek, where auto means self and phagon means eating something completely. So autophagy literally translates to self-eating, which sounds alarming but is actually incredibly good for your body. It is one of your body's most essential cleaning, recycling, and renewal processes that naturally exists inside you.
Here is exactly what happens when your cells do not have enough energy flowing in from external food sources. They begin identifying damaged proteins, broken organelles, and accumulated cellular waste products sitting inside them uselessly. These damaged and broken components get carefully wrapped in special membranes and delivered to structures called lysosomes. Lysosomes act like highly efficient recycling centers operating deep inside each and every one of your cells. Inside the lysosomes, all those broken parts get completely dismantled down into their most basic building blocks. Those building blocks are then either reused to build new healthy cellular structures or burned directly for energy. In your liver specifically, there is a specialized form of autophagy with the name lipophagy worth understanding. Lipophagy specifically targets fat droplets that have accumulated inside your liver cells and are causing ongoing problems. In fatty liver disease, these fat droplets build up inside liver cells and interfere with normal liver function. During lipophagy, those stored fat droplets get wrapped up, sent to lysosomes, and broken down into fatty acids. Your body then uses those released fatty acids as fuel, actually burning the fat right out of your liver. This is the real biological mechanism by which fasting removes fat directly from inside your liver cells naturally. Not through some trendy detox tea, not through an expensive supplement promising miraculous results with no scientific backing. Through a biological process that has been built into your cells over millions of years of human evolution. You simply need to give your body the right conditions to activate this remarkable process inside yourself again.
Autophagy also clears out misfolded proteins and damaged mitochondria that have been accumulating inside your cells over time. Mitochondria are the energy-producing structures inside your cells that keep everything running smoothly every single moment of your life. When they get old or damaged, they stop working efficiently and can actually begin causing harm to cells. Autophagy removes those damaged mitochondria so they can be replaced with brand new, healthy functioning ones instead. In liver cells specifically, this deep cleaning process helps reduce inflammation and prevents progression toward more serious conditions. It may help stop the progression from simple fatty liver advancing toward fibrosis or even cirrhosis over time. Research in this area is still actively ongoing, but the early findings coming from studies are genuinely promising. Some people notice their skin looking clearer after several consistent weeks of practicing regular intermittent fasting each week. This visible improvement may be connected to reduced inflammation happening throughout their entire body during the fasting periods. Others notice the area around their upper belly beginning to shrink noticeably after fasting consistently for several weeks. This happens not just from losing fat under the skin, but from the liver itself shrinking back toward normal. A fatty liver is always an enlarged liver, noticeably bigger than what a healthy liver should naturally be. As fat leaves the liver through autophagy and fat burning, the liver gradually returns toward its proper size. An important word of caution is needed here before we continue forward through the later stages of fasting. Not everyone should be fasting for extended periods, and some people should not be fasting at all now.
If you are pregnant or breastfeeding, fasting is completely not appropriate for your situation and should be avoided. If you have type 1 diabetes or insulin-dependent type 2 diabetes, you need proper medical supervision first. If you have any personal history of eating disorders, fasting could potentially be harmful to your mental health. If you take medications that must be taken with food, please speak to your doctor before attempting fasting. Fasting is genuinely powerful, but it is absolutely not the right tool for every single person alive today. Now let us continue into hours 18 through 24 and beyond, where even deeper healing begins happening inside. By this point in your fast, autophagy is running at its absolute full capacity deep inside your cells. Your body is in a deep cellular cleaning and recycling mode, unlike anything that happens during normal eating hours. But something else critically important is also beginning to happen inside your liver during these later fasting hours. Your liver is actively starting to repair itself using the improved conditions that fasting has now created inside. ALT and AST are two important enzymes that normally live safely inside your liver cells without causing problems. When liver cells become damaged, stressed, or inflamed, they begin leaking these enzymes out into your bloodstream. When doctors find elevated ALT or AST levels in your blood tests, it signals something is wrong internally. High enzyme levels typically indicate ongoing liver inflammation or active liver injury happening somewhere inside your body currently. Multiple clinical studies have now clearly shown something very encouraging about consistent intermittent fasting over several weeks.
After consistent intermittent fasting, both ALT and AST levels dropped significantly in people who practiced it regularly. One comprehensive meta-analysis found that intermittent fasting reduced ALT by an average of over 10 units measurably. This meaningful decrease strongly suggests that inflammation inside the liver is calming down in response to fasting. The liver cells are clearly under less stress, and they are leaking fewer distress signals into the blood. Your liver possesses one truly remarkable ability that no other organ anywhere in your entire body actually has. It can completely regenerate itself even after significant portions of it have been removed or seriously damaged. If surgeons remove up to 75% of a person's liver, the remaining portion can grow back fully. It can grow back to approximately its original size within just weeks to months after the surgical procedure. This extraordinary regenerative capacity is entirely unique to the liver and exists in no other human organ. During fasting, your liver is not just getting cleaned out of fat and cellular waste products and debris, it is also receiving clear biological signals to repair damaged cells and even begin generating entirely new ones. The combination of reduced inflammation, active autophagy, and lowered metabolic stress creates ideal conditions for genuine liver healing. Insulin sensitivity also improves noticeably during and after extended consistent fasting periods practiced regularly over several weeks. Remember that high insulin keeps fat locked tightly inside your liver and prevents it from leaving naturally. When you fast consistently and regularly, your cells become more responsive and sensitive to insulin over time. Your body then needs to produce less insulin to achieve exactly the same blood sugar management effect overall. Lower circulating insulin in your blood makes it dramatically easier for fat to exit your liver and stay out. This creates a genuinely positive and self-reinforcing cycle that continues improving liver health with each consistent fasting period. After practicing intermittent fasting consistently for several weeks, many real noticeable changes begin appearing in your daily life. Many people see their waist measurement decrease, especially around the upper belly area where liver fat accumulates most. Energy levels often become noticeably more stable and consistent throughout the entire day compared to before fasting began. That uncomfortable afternoon energy crash that used to hit a few hours after lunch often fades away completely. Mental fog that previously made afternoons difficult and unproductive begins lifting as the weeks of fasting continue on. Some people find that their blood test results genuinely improve, with better numbers appearing for several key markers. Better numbers show up for liver enzymes, fasting blood sugar, triglyceride levels, and cholesterol readings over time. Many people also notice their relationship with food changing in ways they didn't expect or predict beforehand. The constant background noise of random cravings throughout the day quiets down significantly after consistent fasting practice. Food actually tastes better when you do eat, and you feel genuinely satisfied with noticeably less food consumed. But all of these positive changes take real time to develop and cannot be rushed or forced artificially. Do not expect dramatic visible results after only 1 or 2 fasting days because the body needs time.
Research consistently shows that 4 to 12 weeks of consistent practice produces the most noticeable and lasting benefits. Patience is genuinely one of the most important ingredients in making intermittent fasting actually work for your liver. Now, let us talk about what happens inside your body and your liver when you break your fast. When you eat your first meal after fasting, insulin rises again and your liver switches back into storage mode. But here is something reassuring and important to understand about what happens during that first meal after fasting. Your liver will prioritize refilling its glycogen stores before it starts converting any excess energy back into fat. This gives you a useful window where you can eat a reasonable meal without immediately adding new liver fat. However, if you break your fast with a massive meal loaded with sugar and heavily processed foods immediately, problems arise. Your liver gets completely flooded with far more energy than it can possibly store as glycogen at once. The overflow gets converted right back into fat, essentially undoing some of the hard work your fast achieved. The smarter and much more effective approach is to break your fast with a moderate and balanced meal. Include good quality protein and plenty of vegetables in that first meal after ending your fasting period carefully. Eat slowly and give your digestive system the time it genuinely needs to properly wake back up again. Many people discover they feel full much faster than usual when they are breaking a fast after hours. This is completely normal because your stomach has contracted slightly and your hunger hormones have fully recalibrated themselves.
Listen carefully to your body's signals during that first meal and do not force yourself to overeat unnecessarily. You absolutely do not need to eat everything available just because you spent hours fasting and feel very empty. Now, let us look at the complete picture of everything that happens to your liver during intermittent fasting. In the first few hours, your liver is busy processing your last meal and carefully storing energy away. Between 4 and 8 hours, it releases stored glycogen steadily to maintain proper and stable blood sugar levels. Between 8 and 12 hours, your liver switches over to burning fat and producing ketones as fuel. Between 12 and 18 hours, autophagy activates fully and begins cleaning out fat and damaged cellular components. Beyond 18 hours, active repair and genuine cellular regeneration processes become more powerful and more impactful inside. Your liver was designed by millions of years of evolution to handle every single one of these stages. These are not new biological tricks or modern hacks invented recently by researchers studying fasting in controlled labs. These are ancient survival mechanisms that kept humans alive for millions of years when food was not constantly available. Intermittent fasting simply creates the conditions that allow these natural built-in processes to work properly again inside you. But let us be completely honest and clear about one important thing before we wrap everything up together. Fasting is not a magic solution that fixes everything regardless of the other choices you make daily. The quality of the food you eat during your eating windows still matters enormously for your liver health. Regular movement and exercise still matter significantly for how quickly and effectively your liver can heal itself. Quality sleep every night still plays a critical role in liver repair, hormone regulation, and overall metabolic health. Fasting works most powerfully as part of a genuinely healthy overall lifestyle, not as a replacement for one. And fasting is simply not appropriate or safe for every single person regardless of their individual health situation. If you feel genuinely unwell at any point during a fast, stop immediately and do not push through it. If you have any underlying health conditions of any kind, consult your doctor before starting intermittent fasting today. The entire goal of fasting is achieving better health and improved liver function, not suffering through something unnecessary. Here is the most important single thing to carry with you after learning everything shared here today carefully. Your liver is incredibly intelligent and already knows exactly how to clean itself and heal itself naturally. It knows how to remove fat, repair damaged cells, and even regenerate entirely new healthy tissue from scratch. You do not need expensive supplements, complicated programs, or special products marketed to desperate people seeking quick results. You simply need to give your liver the conditions it needs to do what it already knows perfectly. Intermittent fasting is one straightforward, completely free, and scientifically supported way to create exactly those healing conditions. The science supporting intermittent fasting for liver health continues growing stronger and more convincing with each passing year. Your liver has been working tirelessly and loyally for you every single day of your entire life without complaint.
Maybe it is finally time to give it the genuine break and recovery opportunity that it truly deserves now.